Asatu ma sadgamaya tamashu ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya avir maiti rudro yatte dakshinang mukham te namang pahi nityam te namang pahi nityam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality, and evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Today our topic is stages of liberation. The liberation word, everyone wants to be liberated, and liberation means in Sanskrit mukti. And mukti in the spiritual sense, mukti is the freedom, liberation from all types of bondage, all types of misconceptions, all types of identification with this mundane world and its sufferings, as also its pleasures and joys. Transcending both the negative and the positive. That is the final meaning of liberation. Liberation means eternal escape. Eternal escape from all sadness and all painful conditions. Not only painful conditions, but liberation means also attainment of something. So in liberation idea is prevalent in different ways. In social life, in community life also, liberation idea is very prominent. Liberation theology is a movement, a religious movement in Roman Catholic, 20th century Roman Catholicism, and it is centered in Latin America. They emphasize this liberation means liberation from social, political, economic oppressions. And this, to correct this, that will lead as an anticipation of ultimate salvation. That is the idea. That movement started, liberation theology it is called. And beginning in 1960s, after the Second Vatican Council, liberation theology then become more political. First it was started, that's oppression. The same call, liberation means a call, inner call, to be freed from any type of oppression, any type of restriction. Because we are, by our divine nature, we are infinite. That absolute infinite freedom is our very nature. So anywhere we find that any type of oppression, any type of stopping, nature does not stop ending their journey in there. Even a plant, you look at the plant, if you stop in certain point and it cannot reach that side, it will turn its angle in another way and try to reach the light again. This is the very nature in everything. If crawling worm is just walking, it's an ant, you look at that and you stop that. See how it moves. It tries to move in another direction. It is, no, I don't want to have this obstacle to stop me. I am free, that freedom. That is the idea of liberation. And that first, in a social level, there is so much oppression, so much control. Rich controls the poor, learned controls the so-called not illiterate or not getting so much of higher education. So this type, and in society everywhere, black, oppressed by the white. The color difference in the society, this type of oppression, this type of putting back is a natural thing in human characteristic. But freedom is a song of the soul. Everyone wants to be free, free from all types of bondage. Black theology of liberation, that was contemporary to our voice, black liberalism, that even feminist liberation theology all started. So it's everywhere. Wherever there is oppression, wherever there is restriction, there is a human nature which says, I don't want to be bogged down by this. I don't want to accept it. That freedom, the country which under another country's tyranny, they want freedom movement, fight. They give their life, blood for the freedom of the country. So everywhere we find that type of, there is a liberation idea is embedded into it. The Palestinian liberation theology is an expression of the political theology in the Middle East as a religious response by Christians, leaders and scholars to political problems. So this is the social level we find that struggle is there. And when we look back into the higher level, into our individual life, there comes the another level of bondage, another level of helplessness in our life, and we want to get out of our weaknesses, our desires, our passions, our limitations, which bogs us down. We want to get out of that. So there comes the question of this liberation, how to get out of this. It is called, that's why mukti, it is called the mukti, and then mukti is total freedom from all types of bondage. Mental, emotional, intellectual, every level we are bound, slaves, because we think this world is all and I have to survive here, and how to survive in whatever ways it is there, I will hang on and control others. Always, even in human relationship, love, how much control issue comes. And there comes a point of freedom. Whatever may be the reason of divorce, but if you go to the very root of it, the person wants freedom. It is infringing in my freedom. It is stopping me, what I am, and it's telling me to be moving in the life in the dictate of somebody. So this is the human nature, always trying for this freedom. So enlightenment is used in a religious sense, that enlightenment transcends several terms in every language. What is enlightenment? In Hinduism in one way, Buddhism in another way. So Jainism, Zoroastrianism. So in Buddhistic term is Bodhi. Hinduism called Kaivalya, Moksha. Jainism called Kevala Jnana. Zoroastrianism says Ushta. So we find that liberation ideal is not only the social system, but it penetrates into the another realm of human psychology. And in every religion, this type of freedom idea is dominant. Even the Catholic workers' movement, we find, is to live in accordance with the justice and charity of Jesus Christ. That was the idea. That we want to live in accordance to as Jesus Christ wanted that way to live, and his love and compassion as he wanted to manifest. So this type of movement in the external world, and there comes in the internal world also. So let us go back to Indian philosophies, that all the philosophies, excepting the Charvaka philosophy, all Indian philosophy accept the concept of liberation. Accept that we are in bondage, we are suffering. We cannot be living like this. We need to get something to get out of this bondage and ignorance. So that's why it is called avidya naso, destruction of total annihilation of ignorance according to Vedanta. So liberation is then stands like that. It is the destruction of all types of oppression, suffering in the physical level. Destruction, if we go internally to our desires and passions, which makes us beastly. Our nature is pulled down because of our desires. And the desires and cravings from the level to, for my own self-pleasure, sense pleasure, people exploiting others. So this, how to transcend that weakness in the mind, that is the struggle, this is the destruction of desire. And this is a state, also liberation idea, to attain to a joyful state, unchanging, joyful state. Jat prapyo na kinchid vanchati. In the Narada Bhakti Sutra it says, we want to reach that state. Jat prapyo, attaining that state, a state of mind, a state of our existence. Jat prapyo na kinchid vanchati. I will not be caring for anything in the universe. The whole universe, which is all the good things, all the pleasurable things, is meaningless to me. Na kinchid vanchati. So it is an attainment of a state of absolute joy and peace. All our needs will be eliminated there. Attaining that, there will be nothing to ask for. So the Gita also suggests that mukti then is freedom. But freedom, we are sometimes, let us go to our spiritual life. Freedom from all types of bondage is important. Freedom, you see, there are iron chain and there is golden chain. Iron chain is bad. No one wants a chain of iron. But if someone chains me with gold, one soft mind will say, oh, it is gold, it's much better, no? It has a sweet side of it. But the chain is chain. Either it is iron shackle or the shackle of gold, made of gold. So what is that iron shackle? We know. I don't want one should dominate on me. I don't want that someone dictate on me. I don't want that someone take my freedom off. In physical level, mental level, whatever level I don't want to give that control to anyone, no? But if one say, I love you, and I love you so much, I'll die with you, and then what happens? Our mind becomes softened. That's good. And that's expected. But for total liberation, that is also a bondage. Even the holy people, we heard that, as Ramakrishna did, we heard that Swami Virajananda, one of our President Maharaj, he called each of his disciples and say, see this my body's condition, I cannot continue like this. But if you give permission, that means the attendants who are serving him with so much love, and he has so much love for them, he's asking, if you permit me, then I can leave this body. So he took leave from each one of his attendants. There's a golden chain that was tying, because that was pulling Sri Ram, this Swami, to this world of attachment. It is not attachment, it is pure. It's a very sattvika. Our normal affection and love, what happens? It is tamasic or rajasic. It binds us down. This love is a divine love, pure love. Love her because he loves as a disciple. They are disciples. They love because they are serving the Guru, and the Guru's grace, they are uplifted. In the presence of Swami Virajananda, all the attendants, their mind is uplifted. No? But still, for Maharaj, it is a bondage. He asks, please permit me, so that don't feel bad about it. So this is the bondage of gold chain, the freedom from the Iron chain, as I just discussed, social injustice, racism, poverty, lack of freedom of speech, to go to the other level of physical oppression. Golden chain is, I did a good job, people praise me, name, fame, I am somebody, some special, no? People recognize me and my greatness, my position, my power, feeling of good about one's, even in our spiritual life, this is a bondage. I do more meditation than you do. I do more japa than you do, no? So some sense of superiority is coming. That's a bondage, though it is good. Yes, someone doing more meditation, more prayer, more introspection. So that's a great development. But this is also a bondage because it is creating attachment to pampering their subtle ego in us, which is dormant. Though it is a purer side, not in the lower side, but not the tamasic side, but the sattvika side. Therefore, the freedom is to go beyond both. That is called the liberation. The Swami Vivekananda, that's why, in his Song of the Sannyasins, he said, "Strike off thy fetters, bonds that bind thee down, of shining gold or darker, baser ore. Love, hate, good, bad, and all the dual throng. No, slave is slave, caressed or whipped, not free. Slave is slave. Whether you give a little honor to sit, but he's a slave, he cannot get out of it. He will be chained, he is chained. That's why earlier slaves were, after their whole day's work, they used to chain, and so that they cannot flee away. So slave is slave, Swamiji says. Whether you caressed, you care and love and affection, but it is not free to go. So that's the Swamiji says, where seekest thou the freedom then? So you are seeking for freedom, where? This world, not that can give you. In this world, we do good work. I am praised by all. I am feeling that I am honored by all, giving some type of mental freedom. This world cannot give. Think that, okay, I will die, I am doing good work, after death, I will go to heaven, and there I enjoy freedom. All are expecting freedom, not here if not possible, at least in the heaven. The heaven concept in every religion is that. That Swamiji says, neither it is freedom there. That's a restricted happiness, restricted period of getting some, bonus. If you did a good job in the world, charity, self-sacrifice, and did, okay, as a bonus you get some Hawaiian hotel free arrangement. You go there and enjoy for how many years? Okay, one lifetime maybe. Here you live 100 years, there you live 500 years or 1,000 years, God, whatever, enjoy everything you like. But that's a bondage, because it is lingering my freedom, period. I could have been freed from this wrong conception about the heavenly joy. Heavenly joy is also, it begins in time, it ends in time. There is a passport and visa. Visa expiry, then they will get out. You say, no, I did a good job. Well, no, your visa is over, your termination is here, get out, and then you can come again with a fresh visa. No? Then you do come back in the world and do rigorous work and whatever good karma or jogna or charity and this and that, and then you gain again some good merit, and then you can come again. But it has in the end. So this is also bondage, because it keeps us in bondage for a longer period of time. So heaven is not good at all, though it is very attractive, alluring. So Swamiji says, where seekest thou the freedom, friend? This world cannot give, nor that can give. And you are searching in books and temples, vain thy search, thine only is the hand that holds the rope, that drags thee on. In your hand, this attachment, this clingingness, this association, in this ignorant living. Our life is ignorant living. Wise living and ignorant living. We live in ignorance, and that is holding us back. Then cease lament. Don't say, who will free me? I want freedom. Who will give me freedom? It is in your hand. We are holding on. And we are crying, oh, come to release me from all bondage. So Swamiji says, then cease lament, let go thy hold. Sannyasin bold, say Om Tat Sat Om. Say, Sannyasin means a person of detachment. Detach. We really, in our life, we are bound, we are forced to be controlled by others. But this line is very important. If we penetrate into its meaning, actually we are holding on to something as very important. And as I give the importance, the thing becomes important. Somebody say about praise you. If you give importance to that praise, then you become a slave. If you give, someone says something wrong about it, or very bad words, or a very bad critical criticism, and if you give value, you become giving the value, you are bound by that. You suffer because of your giving value to that, and because holding it, that idea, what is it carries to us. So let go. In every place, our all suffering ceases as soon as we... example, one lady was suffering from cancer, and his cancer spread all over. And she could not, she wants to live. She says, I want to live. And over the pain of cancer, the desire to live is creating another pain. One day, she has the good fortune, she said, let go, this body will go. At least the mental peace immediately dawned into him. The physical part is going on, physical action. So the pain which we carry, the bondage we carry, according to Swami Vivekananda, is our holding on to things. That is called attachment, clingingness, attachment. So live in the world, detach. That is called liberation. Swamiji said that, let go thy hold, Sannyasin bold, say, Om Tat Sat Om. Then you say, fetters though of gold are not less strong to mind. Don't be allured to the good. Good and bad both should go away. First bad, and transcending the bad, what is good, so-called good. That good is not so good, because ultimate is the absolute truth, where there is no touch of good and bad. This dual concept is gone. Then off with them with this, and say you are that. In the Jivan Mukti Vivek, we get this purpose of this definition, what is called the freedom. What is freedom? It is Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti. To attain to that happiness or infinite happiness and bliss while living in the body. We have the concept that after death we will go to heaven. Where is the proof after death we will go to heaven? Unless it is experienced here and now. So according to this Ramakrishna tradition, we give more emphasis on at experiencing here and now. After death experience, it is a iffy thing. It may happen, it may not happen. You have to believe, or it's a misconception maybe given by some people to make us happy. So it says, Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti Hetave Janmadharitam. We are born here, what purpose? That is for the total liberation. Jivan Mukta. Mukta means free. Mukta means liberation. We want liberation. Jivan, when we are breathing in, when we are walking in the world, with our day-to-day needs and sufferings and joys and pleasure and pain all going on. But one should be free from all types of entanglements and bondage. Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti. Hetave. Because of that, Janmadharitam, we are born here, we have our life here. The purpose of life, to move in the world with total freedom. And total freedom means in absolute happiness, absolute, not happiness, happiness is a language, opposite is there. What language you will use? Everything has an opposite. So you can say blissfulness, you can say closest language will be absolute bliss, absolute peace, absolute contentment. So to then live in that, and that is the purpose of holding, being embodied in a physical body. But otherwise, it says, Atmana Nityamukteno, that Atman, our own soul, your soul, what is the real nature of ours, is Nityamukteno, it is ever free. No cloud can ever cover that absolute real sun which is shining in back of us. Even the physical sun is all the time in the sky. Sometimes it is visible, sometimes it is not visible. When it is not visible, it does not mean that sun is gone somewhere else. When it is dark cloud comes in our life, people becomes mean, unkind and beastly. It is covered by dark cloud, but the sun is inside. So that sun is sun of light, sun of consciousness, sun of Satchidananda, that is Atman, it is all the time present. That's why it is said, Nitya Mukto. We are ever free. Only clouds of ignorance, clouds of misunderstanding, wrong understanding has come in between to cover our real nature. And we are not here born not to samsara kammaya, to live in this world, the whirlpool of birth and death, this sangsarati, moving from childhood to young, youth to old to deathbed, no? For this type of experience, it is not a pleasurable experience. Youthful time, we think it is very pleasurable, maybe, but not always. But old days, when it comes, you understand how his life is so, we expected this life. Then you see that why we are born, so much of aches and pains here and there going on. And doctor today, doctor tomorrow, day after day, this is blood pressure, this is kidney, this is this. Every day some problem. To experience this problem, we are not born. But we are born to enjoy the bliss of the absolute joy. While even in the body. So that's why it is called two things. Liberation means it is attantika dukkha nivritti, total annihilation of all sorrows and sufferings. Sorrows and sufferings, body will go on through its pains and agonies and suffering. But I am separate. So that is dukkha, the suffering will be removed. Not for 1 hour. I can go to doctor gave me some strong medicine and I can forget my pain. When hip surgery, knee surgery, no? After that what happens? How much suffering goes on, days and days. No? But it is very momentary, with some medicine it can be recovered. But this is eternal. Never any suffering will be able to touch that Jivan Mukta, that free soul who is Jivan Mukta. And not it is negative side, and positive side, Paramananda Prapti. It will be realizing that very nature, I am, that absolute bliss, that will be his experience. So this is the real liberation. And liberation may be in two ways. It's called the Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. Two terms. Jivan Mukti means now and here. Now, while you are breathing, you experience that annihilation of all suffering and establishment in absolute joy. That is called Jivan Mukti. But one is practicing, cannot get it at the point of death. they get the flash of illumination. That is called the Videho Mukti. When Deho is gone, the body drops, body dies, then because of the long practice, one attains to that state of absolute bliss and joy, bereft of all suffering due to duality of existence. Now, final liberation, according to Vedanta, is also, we can see that it is when one becomes free from these coverings, the sheaths that cover us. And Vedanta says, 5 coverings. This body is a one sheath. It attaches us, it clings us down. I am the body, I am the body. That's why Vedanta teaches us we have to rip off, like onion. You rip off layers and layers, 5 layers, to rip off all these coverings. That is the Annomaya, Pranomaya, Manomayo, Vijnanomayo, Anandamayo. These are the Atma. This is the Atman, which is Annomaya, which is the I. Normally what we all mean. I means what? First here, this physical body. Then Pranamaya, that's the energy body. The physical body is same, with a chronic fatigue syndrome. No? The person looks very strong, apparently. But he said, I cannot raise my hand. The energy level is gone. So we identify with our energy body. We identify with the physical body, that's the gross one. If you can get out of that, then we identify with our energy body, prana, life force which is making us sustain in this. Third will be manomaya, the mind. That's most of are affected in the mental level. People say something, praise, we are like puppets in the hand of the world. When someone praise me, my balloon gets puffed up. And anyone says something, and punch. Bas, balloon is gone down. So I am just a puppet in the hand of the world because I identify myself with the mind. Give up. This is liberation. That's why it is said, the Vedanta student every day analyze, I am not this, not this, not this. This wrong identification is not me. Then Manomayo and Vijnanomayo. It's a higher bondage. Intellectual people, scholarly people, they live in their intellectual understanding, very difficult to get out of that. If you take one line of them, then they may sue you. What is intellectual property, no? Intellectual property rights, no? So you have taken one paragraph without quoting them and the name. What? My intellectual food, you have taken it? So you see how we are bound in different levels. We don't understand this way. But Vedanta has understood, the sages have understood thousands of years ago, that we are caught into trap, into these levels. We have to free. Who will free you? It is your responsibility. It's my responsibility. I can identify with body and mind and emotion and ego and cry and weep and smile and dance like a puppet. Or I can say, not this, not this, not this. What I am that absolute. That is the total free soul, which is Satchidananda Atman. So, now the question here comes that if this is the another type of identification, the liberation stages can be, we can go stage by stage. Our topic was stages of liberation. So this liberation we understand, total freedom from all, two definition. It is one point, attantik dukkha nivritti, total annihilation of all sufferings of life. And second point is attainment of the absolute, undivided, unchanging bliss of our real nature. So this ideal can be reached if we follow this process of a disidentification with our body. And if a body goes, our world goes away, no? When so long we are in the body, all relationship is connected with the body and with the mind. We think so many, today's newspaper you open, there are so many calamities over the world, and somewhere maybe 10,000 people died. If we read that news, what reaction will come to us? It's just a news. Oh, 10,000 people, 10,000. But it does not touch your heart at all. But when his body connected, oh, my brother was there. Huh? So the identification is such, so long the body, I am concerned with my body, my mind, my emotions, my ego, there I am bound in the world. No? So if we can detach, this is called Panchakosha Vichara, the analysis of the 5 sheaths of our bondage, this body, mind, energy body, anna, physical body, prana, energy body, mind, subtle body, and subtle body has mind, intellect and ego. In these, all these layered disidentification every day. Vedanta student, there is one job of them every day to think, I am not this body, not this mind, not this emotion, not this, and I am that Satchidananda, the Absolute. This is one process, and this is the way one can reach the final liberation. But now question is that, does this experience happen in just one moment? Or there is any step-by-step movement or understanding about it comes in our life? This is a big question. This experience, suppose someone is practicing these spiritual disciplines, viveka, vairagya, all these things, discrimination, renunciation, detachment, love for God, practicing, praying, doing selfless work, whatever we are doing. All these methodologies, if we do, that as a result, will that experience come just in one moment, one day? Or I will understand that I am moving in this direction. That is more important in our life. Many people can think that I do 10,000 japa, so I am really making good progress. Someone say, I do 20,000, so he is moving faster. Yes, maybe that our attempt should be there, but 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 is nothing for God realization. Then what is the sign? I will understand. Ultimately, whether the end result will come or not, do I know? Can anyone give me guarantee? What is the milepost? We know we are driving, your GPS will say, all this direction, left, keep in the left lane, right, don't go to the right exit, this freeway coming, another freeway, another exit. It's constantly giving you guidance. When you know that you have reached a McDonald's, then you know, oh, you have moved from where you are and you are in the right direction. So similarly in spiritual life, is there any such chance of understanding, or it comes in one moment? Yes. When experience comes, ultimate experience comes in a moment. It is just a moment's affair. That's why it is said that whole life spiritual practice, or lives after lives people do spiritual practice, but realization comes in a moment. But how do I understand that will come or not come? Am I moving in this direction or feeling anything? There it says that there are experiences happening in every step we move. Some sort of sign, milepost, is there to understand this. So it is true that final liberation or experience happens just in a flash. But there are stages of liberation, mukti or freedom. Sri Ramakrishna has described in the Gospel of Ramakrishna that he is talking about the chakras. Sri Rama, that's a good idea to understand this progress, what it happens. She says, the mind normally dwells in the lower 3 planes. And then what happens for we ordinary people? Our mind lives in the lower three planes, chakras, and then the mind is attracted or attached only to lust and gold. Only matter and material. They don't need anything. You go to the world and talk about God, they will run away from that place. If you talk to the people who have not developed higher meaning and understanding, normally living in these three planes, they will be totally attached to the world and worldliness. Now, when the mind moves into the heart chakra, Sri Ramakrishna said, in the fourth plane, then what happens? A flood of light, vision of a light and effulgent light, expression of that is experienced here. One can see that light. When it comes to the throat, then only he will be day and night engaged in talking about God and listening about God. And whatever they speak at that state, their mouth only speaks about the spiritual truth and about talking about the knowledge and blessings of the world, no? Only that cannot talk about mundane talk. That when the mind lives here. And then Sri Ramakrishna suggests that when mind moves into the between the eyebrows in the forehead, then only you can see the form of Satchidananda, means God with form, the Saguna Brahma, the Absolute taking the form of the chosen ideal or something, that is Saguna Brahma, that vision happens. And then this person who is thinking of God and moving in this type of experience, Sri Ramakrishna says, that person then feels like embracing that divine Saguna Brahma, that Brahman in their form, but could not touch him because there is a trace of ego. And then it reaches the climax, the seventh plane. Then total annihilation of ego happens. And that time he goes into samadhi, and there is a total loss of I and mind. And what happens, Ramakrishna says, what happens, one cannot express that. And if one lives in that state, he cannot keep the physical body for long. And if you give some food, it does not get into it. And if he stays in that state, after 21 days, this body falls off like a dead body. So this is Sri Ramakrishna gave this very great concept about that how spiritual progress, if one moves in the spiritual life, what will happen. As I said, many people have the concept, and we also have the concept, that as I am moving, I will see this light and this and that. Sometimes it does not happen. Spiritual progress, there is a sign that transformation is coming in the life. Some people may not have any light, vision of light or any, but people think that little light, seeing some light, probably is an expression of great achievement. I sometimes jokingly say, many people get illumination and pay so much money to get. I can say that I don't give me money, I can show you the light now, just now. You want to see divine light? Press your eyes hard and just check, you can see so much light flash going on here and there. So it is not like that. Seeing something is not the expression, but being and becoming what you are becoming. Your transformation, you are becoming more peaceful, joyful, and you are compassionate. All the characteristics of the divine is manifesting through the personality of that person. So that's the idea Sri Ramakrishna said, that when the mind moves from one chakra to another chakra, this is a very high level, of course. We may understand from our standpoint, but this is a very high level of experience. When Sri Ramakrishna said the mind goes to the heart chakra, then Jyoti, that light, effulgent light will be experienced. That is not just in a flickering, this comes and goes away. It is not like that. It will remain with them. then a mood will come. People will not like to talk about others. I have seen in our early days in monastery that there are some sadhus, we are all friends, but he has in such deep spiritual practice, and his mind is tuned to such a level probably, he does not see his friends even. They are all spiritual friends, but he wants to be absorbed more inside. So that is the sign that attraction for inner life is coming, and it's pulling the mind so much that your good friend will be not very pleasing to you at that mood. So this is the sign. It can go, Ramakrishna's idea, as the mind moves, you can have that, and leading to the absolute oneness with the Supreme. That's the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now we can find in the there are, in the Vedanta, there are 7 stages of spiritual unfoldment. That is also, just quickly, I will touch because our only 10 minutes are there. So it is called 7 stages, as one is practicing spiritual discipline, practicing this Vedantic practice, that is Viveka. Everything is changing. What is unchanging? Absolute. Brahman is the unchanging. And what is changing? That is this world. I reject that and accept that which is unchanging. No? So this is Viveka. Vairagya will be, see, I should have the courage to throw away what is unchanging, which is changing. We have, of course, thrown away what is unchanging. We have taken what is changing as true. We are living in that world. World means everything. What is happening? What is the news? What has happened now? What is going on there? What is my morning? What is my noon? What is my evening? That is, we are living in this changing thing. And we are crying and weeping and dying and smiling, whatever we are doing. We have given up the unchanging reality totally. But spiritual life is just turning the opposite way, focusing on the unchanging aspect and giving less value to the changing aspects. So here are 7 bhumikas, they say. First, in spiritual life, it's first one is called Shubhecha. Shubhecha means a great desire. Ichha means desire. Shubha is auspicious. Auspicious resolution, auspicious views, that we are having that tendency to understand that truth that comes to a person who thinks that I am deluded person. Let me understand it with the help of the scriptures and various holy people. That desire, this passion is the first step in spiritual life, first step of progress. That means when one is overwhelming with staying with this world of existence and find that it is meaningless, it has no meaning for me. The world has no meaning. It is a mere worldly life of sense pursuit and material advancement, has no meaning for me. That type of feeling comes, then he raises the basic question of life and seeks the answer. What am I doing? Why am I going to gain my running after wealth? Why am I attached to these things and beings? Why I am restless? Why is that I want in this life? And so forth. And he finds restlessness more. That is no response. Why am I doing this life? Why am I studying? Why am I going to job? Why am I seeking for little pleasure? What is the ultimate gain? This question, serious question comes. This is the starting of spiritual life. Shubhecha, Shubho Ichha, auspicious resolutions that I will have to find some path. I want to get out of all these things and master my mind and reach the state of perfection as envisioned in the scriptures and saints. And it is not mere wish, but it is a burning desire for liberation. That is the very first stage of spiritual growth and development. It is not a sudden overnight change in thinking. It is that is to be understood. The first development in the life of spirituality is that we have to find the meaninglessness, purposelessness of the life in which we are living, because it is not bringing absolute peace and joy what we are working. Now second stage comes. After that, we have this tremendous understanding about the world, that it is all changing object, and I am giving value to it, and I am trying to hold on it, and I am, as a result, suffering. And again I am being driven by my own past desires to hold on to things, and it's grippy, going out through my grips of my hand. Second is the vicharana, reflection. Reflection means is the resolution. If the earlier state is auspicious, then make a right resolution, then he goes on studying the scriptures and understand, and then sudden dispassion will come in his mind, and deep dispassion will take him to quell the mind, exercising his intellect and understanding the unreal nature of it by going to a guru and reflecting more deeply the state of understanding why I am here. I will find not peace, I will not find peace in this world, but let me follow the Guru's instruction, go to the teacher and scripture and understand it deeply, more concentratedly. Third stage comes Tanu Manasa, the attenuation of the mind. This mind becomes not running in different direction, but it becomes due to vichara or analysis, attenuation or thinness of the mind. That state, third state, wherein the mind has attained thinness or subtlety, owing to dispassion. Mind has learned that running in this world is not the goal of life, and it cannot give me joy. So it has reduced its strength from the worldly side, and it is arising from the strength of vichar, or in analyzing day and night by following Guru's instruction. They attain to the next state. When fourth stage comes, then that attainment of the real, then they reach a point where they can attain to that knowledge and it become one with the Brahman. First stage is the state of, first stage is the auspicious resolution, that is not superficial, understanding the unreal nature of the world. I am tired of seeing and finding peace and joy here by failing, so he gives up that path, and then with the instruction of the Guru reflects on that. That's the Manana stage, reflection, sitting in one place, deep analysis of the world and our real nature. They goes to the second stage. Then the mind becomes thin, Tanu Manasa. It does not run in the objects of the world, but concentrates on the truth. That is nididhyasana, deep concentration. Then comes the fourth state, attainment of the real nature of us. That is actually Brahmajnana. That means mind is so pure, that gets absorbed in God. That is the fourth stage, attainment of the real nature. It is called the Savikalpa Samadhi stage or nididhyasana. And then if he continues further, then comes desirelessness from anything in the universe. That is known, but he cannot merge into that. It is called, he has attained the Brahman, but asangsakti, desirelessness, it is a deeper understanding about Brahman comes. That is called the Brahmavid Bara. And Padartha Bhavana. Then comes a state of mind when there is no object before the mind. Mind loses its identity and objectless it becomes. So no external object, no mental imaginary object, neither the observer, neither the observed, it merges totally, and that they have said it is called the Bodhishtha, the greater. And Turiyaga is a transcendent state, seventh stage, where there is neither the world, neither the perceiver, neither the perceived. So these are, we don't understand this final level of last four stages. Brahmavid is a knower of Brahman, and that they go further deep, Brahmavid Bara, then Bariyan, and then transcendent. Anyhow, what we understand by this, let us concentrate here, that this spiritual life has its growth and development. A sincere seeker should feel that there is a experience, transformation comes in life. First of all, this dispassion comes from the world in which we live. Detachment comes out of that, not out of frustration, but proper analysis, proper experience. Then people try to find out the meaning and purpose of life, and then engages by Guru's instruction, by the scripture's instruction, to dive deep into the inside, and then mind becomes restless. Restless mind becomes calmer and calmer and calmer and concentrated. And as concentration goes on, inner peace, inner joy, inner tranquility will be experienced by each one of us. So this, it is to be understood. Not a little clarity should be here, that spirituality is not seeing some light. Spirituality is not seeing some momentary experience. There is a song Rabindranath Tagore sang. It's true for us. He sang, মাঝে মাঝে তব দেখা পাই চিরদিন কেন পাই নে. He says, oh Lord, I see a glimpse of your presence occasionally. One day, little experience, little joy, little peace. But again, dark cloud comes. Why the dark cloud comes in between? কেন তোমার এ দেখিতে দেয় না? Why it does not allow you to see all the time? So this is the point. We may have little glimpses of truth. That is a pure state of mind. When the cloud in the sky is totally full, sometimes you find there is a little slit opening, and you can see the ray of light coming through that. Yes, in the dark, in our heart, that mind which is covered with ignorance, occasionally by spiritual practice or by God's grace, a little thing may come out. Don't think that is spiritual growth. It is temporary. It should have to be our permanent experience in our life, and every day's practice should establish us with more peace and more tranquility and more inner happiness, not outer happiness. Outer happiness, whatever we get, it is for now and it goes away next moment. So this is the sign we should focus on in our being and becoming. What is the content? Being, you be what your real nature. And every day try to be, and then being, one day you become. That is the transformation, and that we should seek for. Thank you. Next Sunday, 20th, our Swami Vedanta will be speaking here the 3 modes of nature. 3 modes of nature by Swami Vedanta next Sunday. And our normal classes as usual, 4:30, 7:30 evening classes. Please check on the bulletin, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And there will be our Prabhrajikas are speaking. Today, of course, it is last speak of Swami Dhyan and Divyananda Prana. She spoke in the Santa Barbara today, just now, 10 to... No, Saturday, it was Saturday. Sunday also? Was she there?
Yeah, Sunday she spoke to you in Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, that's it, yeah. Yes. It is... Anyhow, so I'll be there in the living room for question answer after you greeting you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.
One online question was there.
Online question. Is there an online question?
Only one.
So you have to wait a few minutes. Oh ma, question is gone. Question is gone.
The question is that can I be a non-dualist being a Christian?
Non-dualist
This
being...
non-dualist Christian.
Yeah, you can be. Why not? Christ is not only the body, but He is the spirit. I and my Father are one. So in that context, yes, it does not contradict, at least with Vedanta, non-dualism. Okay? Thank you.